Andrew. I'm a student physical therapist. This is my patient SB in the stage 3 recovery phase of Guillain Barre syndrome. First intervention we're going to do today is we're going to work on a functional sit to stand while reaching for an external object with my assistant Allison holding a 3-pound dumbbell. I'm going to be providing moderate assistance by blocking the knee so it does not translate forward with the movement, and I'm going to be stabilizing her shoulder and providing the assistance from the gait belt around her waist while she reaches forward. When she sits back down, she'll hand the weight back to Allison and repeat the exercise 4 to 6 times. Okay, on the count of 3, we're gonna lean forward, rock 1, okay, and then sit all the way back down, handing back. Reach forward and up, back down, reach forward, sit back down, 3 more, reach forward, SB is now moving on to her second functional activity within the circuit. She's going to perform a sit-to-stand transfer with moderate assistance times 1, with me blocking her left knee from translating forward, again like I did in intervention 1. We're going to step up onto and over the blocks within the parallel bars. SB is going to be using a lot of her arms to support her body to get over these blocks. The ankle weights, in addition to the mirror, provide some proprioceptive feedback when landing foot flat through the obstacles. Allison will also be providing some assistance with me to prevent some knee buckling when going up and over the obstacles. I'll be providing support at the pelvis. We're going to rock forward, and on the count of 3, we're going to sit up. 1, 2, 3. Reach up, grab on. SB is going to step up and onto the obstacles with her left to right, Keep your eyes focused in the mirror. Up with the right and down with the left. She is moving on to her third functional activity, which is standing into parallel bars and reaching for a cone, placing that cone onto the table. I'll be providing support. She's going to be providing most of the support by using her arms to support her body weight. I'm also blocking her left knee to prevent that from translating forward in this activity. Allison's holding out the cones. Allison is using verbal cues to tell SB what arm to use to reach the cone. And this exercise is performed for 8 repetitions. SB is moving on to her fourth activity. She's getting out of the parallel bars, using the walker to ambulate over to the mat where she's going to be performing BAP sport. The ankle weights remain around her ankles to help with sensation and proprioceptive feedback. She was taught to use most of her arms to provide stability with the walker. And we trained her to go backwards. And she, again, I'm going to block her left knee. when performing the sit to stand, stand to sit transfer. This is slow. SB is in the seated position. Allison is providing trunk control and stability in this position. SB is also using her upper extremities to bear weight in the seated position. So from this static position, SB is working on ankle range of motion and a little bit of strength. The ankle weights are remained around her ankle to provide sensation and proprioceptive feedback while performing this exercise of dorsiflexion and plantar flexion using the BAP support system. SB is performing 6 to 8 repetitions of this exercise. SB is now performing a sit to supine transfer. The ankle weights are going to remain on her ankles for this next intervention. I'm going to provide some assistance to lift SB's legs onto the mat while she uses her body weight to get down into the supine position. She's now in the supine position. She's going to be performing a glute bridge. I'm going to be providing some assistance and some stability by holding her feet down so they don't translate forward and holding her knees so her knees are stable. SB is also going to use her arms to assist lifting her hips off of the mat. When she lifts her hips off the mat, she's going to hold for 2 seconds and repeat this exercise for 6 repetitions. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Down. 1, 2. It's 4. 2 more. After the glute bridge intervention, SB is then going to stay in the supine position, and we're going to perform some PNF patterns to both arms. I'm going to provide some active assisted range of motion at first. Then once SB gets comfortable with that diagonal pattern, I'm then going to provide some manual resistance into shoulder flexion, external rotation, and wrist extension, and shoulder extension, internal rotation, and wrist flexion. So I'm going to be assisting the motion first. Then once SB gets comfortable with this motion, I'm going to be providing some light manual resistance. And this will be performed on both upper extremities. Okay. So the final intervention will be some static stretching of the lower quarter. So I'm going to provide a stretch to her posterior chain, so her hamstrings and her plantar flexors. I'm going to take her to her available range and hold each stretch with each leg for 30 seconds. 5 total times.